Hey guys, it's Judy and Eric, and we are at the Northside YMCA in Richmond, Virginia, and we are going to work with you guys on some really good stuff about your legs and how to exercise them. Legs are super important when you are on the mountain because you do some walking that tends to be a little uphill. So I'm going to show you how we've simulated as much as we can Blue Ridge Mountain, Black Mountain on treadmill. So
trying to get to Eureka.
We've got it jacked up pretty high. Eric is showing some pretty poor form at this moment, so I'm going to let him talk to you guys. I'm going to flip this around so you guys can watch him, and I'm going to let him talk to you guys about the way that we make sure we get this done appropriately walking.
All right, so if you ever find, how many of you find yourselves on the mountain, you're talking with your friends, you're looking on your phone that you shouldn't be, and you start bending over. Next thing you know, you're walking, you're like parallel to the ground, you're not looking down, you can't see what's in front of you, right? This is weak hips, right? Weak core. I got my backpack on. Right? I got my Squad Goals cup right here. It's my simulated Blue Ridge backpack. When we're walking uphill, it's the same as walking normally. We want to have our head up. You know, well, I'm really out of breath. I'm out of shape. It's December, but we're taking nice steps. We want to be able to look in front of us. We want to stand tall. So I'm feeling my glutes working, my calves, my hamstrings. So if we're tight, so if you those guys who are -5, -8 on the sit and reach, you're gonna find yourselves getting nice and tight by about day 3 on the mountain. It's gonna be really hard. You're gonna be kind of like in this weird position where you're looking up, but your legs are bent. So this is why leg strength is really important. Why flexibility is really important. We want to be able to put it all together so you can stay safe and healthy every time you're on the mountain. So I'm gonna take this down because my card is getting a little high.
All right, and while he's taking that down, just as important in walking uphill, there's a lot of downhill walking that you guys do. And so it's super important that you're in control as you walk downhill. I can tell you guys there's a Richmond half marathon, a marathon here, and the finish is pretty much like this. And your quads are bent, spent quads, that's these guys on here, right, the top of your leg. They're spent anyway after running that far, and then you hit this downhill, and so you've really got to be in control, and you've got to have everything tight and safe so that you can get across the finish line. So same thing when you're going on the mountain, getting downhill, getting uphill, you want to be in control when you're moving in either direction. We're having some technical difficulties. The treadmill's fighting with us.
This is me in the golf cart with Greg Hall. We're gonna go play some golf.
Slowly getting there.
All right, so I wanted to showcase. So if we're on the mountain and we're going downhill, right? It's very easy to get ahead of ourselves. That's when we start, like our knees start like buckling out and stuff, right? It's just as important to be able to walk control down, right? So every time you're walking, you put the brakes on. And that's your quads and your glutes, right? So this is where we get a lot of our little ankles because you're walking, you can trip and you hit a rock or something, right? So it's the same thing. Look where you're going. Take your time, but leg strength is just as important going downhill as it is going uphill.
I don't know, I think that might have been a new dance move.
The Blue Ridge Shuffle.
All right, so we are going to catch back up with you guys in a little bit. We're going to go in and actually work with the leaders on some exercises that you guys can do that will help you to be safe on the mountain. So for the moment, we're out.
And we're back.
We're back. We have finished doing some awesome stuff here at the Northside YMCA tonight. They've been working really hard, and now they're going to actually help us out with some, a little sweat going on. They're going to help us out with doing some leg exercises. So if they look a little tired, it's because they've already done a full night of exercising.
Worked hard.
Woo! All right, so on the mountain, it's super important. Hey, y'all say hi. Everybody say hi. All right, so on the mountain, we talked about it's really important to have good form, so you got to do good exercises to make that happen. So we're going to talk about squats. We're going to talk about lunges. Those are our two main ones. There are lots of variations you can do with those two. Pick your nose. There's lots of variations you can do with those two to make it something that's more challenging for you or something that you need to keep down until you're ready to go up the next level. So we're going to talk about squats to start with. Eric's going to demonstrate when you're doing your squats. It's kind of like you're trying to find an invisible stool in the middle of the night. You're going to sit back and try to find that stool. See how his knees are right there at his toes? Nothing's coming out over top of the toes. They're nice and, yeah, don't do that. That's bad. So he's working with his weight in his tushy, using his glutes. Sitting back. Your chest stays tall. And you can do whatever you'd really like to do with your arms. Some people leave them hanging. Some people have weights. Some people, you know, whatever. So squat up and down. Do a couple of squats. So up and down. Those are his squats. You can make this harder or more cardiovascularly intense by turning it into a squat jump. Nice light landing. So that's going to increase your heart rate. That's going to bring your heart rate up. He's landing nice and soft on his feet when he does it. He's so full of it. He's landing nice and soft on his feet. He's keeping his form really good. If he starts to get tired, he does not need to continue to jump. He can just come up on his toes and just reach. So you make it where you want to be. You can also change your range of motion. You can go not down as low. Boy, that was good English. You can go down a little less versus dropping all the way down. He's famous for his serious squats, so go ahead and drop it all the way. Drop it like it's hot. No. No, seriously, don't do those. So that's the squat. We're going to have our crew here stand up and give you guys an example of what it's like. So hop up, gang.
Get a little space.
Yep, get a little space out. Hello. Look, Mom Butterworth's here. All right, so you got space. Listen to Eric.
So make sure so I like to have my hands not necessarily right out, but kind of up a little bit, because what that allows us to do as we sink down is it creates a counterbalance, right? So if my hands are here, my butt might go up, but the second I bring my hands up, my butt stays down, right? So we're going to have our hands up. We're just going to squat down to 90 and back up. You're going to push through your heels. You should be able to wiggle your toes throughout the entire movement. We're just going to go down and up, and your gaze should be just kind of right out in front of you. Right? You're not trying to check out the stars. You're not trying to look at the ground. Just nice up and down. And I kind of like to push down and reach up. Right? Push as I stand, reach as I sit. Right? That's just a good cue, like my hands are coming to my hips. I'm counterbalancing on the way down. Hands to my hips, just like that. Do you want to try a squat jump?
Good job. All right, so if you feel like you got it left in you,
so here's how we're going to do a squat jump, right?
You can go to the next level. If you're not there, keep it at a squat.
So we're going to squat down, and I like to the cue to kind of swing my arms back and up, because my hands will land out in front of me, which keeps me soft. What I don't want is this. Right? We're not like making noise.
That's bad. Right? Don't do that.
So we're squatting down, swing the arms back, and just jump up.
All right, go ahead.
Landing. Soft landing.
Your feet are about hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider. Nice.
Good job. Give yourself a round of applause.
Nice job. All right, so that was our squat. The next thing we're going to work on is a lunge, because lunging is kind of like when you're walking down the mountain. You're like, oh, everything is a lunge. So when you are doing your lunging, it is important. Pay attention, because I saw some form that needs a little love while you guys were doing this. When you do a lunge, you step out with whatever foot's going forward. You bend the back knee. Don't pay attention to your front knee. Bend the back knee. It should not touch the ground. It should be maybe an inch at the most. And then you're going to push through the heel of the front foot and bring yourself back up. All right. What I see a lot of is people step out, and then that front knee comes way out over the toe. The heel is off the ground here.
Now I've got all this force coming through my kneecap.
Right. Do you think your kneecap likes that?
So
No.
apply the brake, right? Apply your heel, drop. Apply the accelerator and push back. And switch. And again,
Good job.
if you have limited ranges of motion, you don't have to try and graze the ground. You can come halfway and push back. You're still working your muscles. You're still training for Blue Ridge. This just might be the scale where you're at. So let's all come to a starting position with our feet underneath our hips, toes pointed forward, I'm going to step with my left, so I would encourage you all to step with I'm going to step with my right, so when you do your left, so we're all kind of in sync. So we're just going to take a step forward. So again, we're not stepping like halfway across the room, right? And we're also not stepping like directly in front of us. It's kind of a happy medium, right? Just a step, drop down, my gaze is in front.
Chest stays up, don't collapse.
And my core is tight. I see a little bit of this too. I see some rounded backs. Our core is tight. We push back to the start. We step down, push back.
Good
And
job.
I think another thing too is a lot of people like to go feel like really into it, right? Control it. We're working on strength, right? This isn't where if you want to get your heart rate up, we can do our squat jumps, you can go for run, you can go for walk. This is really training our knees, our ankles, and our hips to work in a nice, unified manner. All right? Good job.
All right. Now, once you get to the point where you can rock the lunge out and you've got enough muscle strength to hold you for like probably about 30 seconds of doing that to a minute of doing that, you can also turn that into a scissor where you're in a lunge and then this is funny because you can't really see my feet. And then you're going to jump and switch feet. You can go slow with this. You can go fast with this. This is bringing up that cardiovascular. At the same time, you're working the muscles.
Right? It's about the feet moving.
Right. Good
And
job.
so and again, it's also not about landing on the toe. It's landing flat. All right?
Nice. Awesome. All right. So there are a couple other things you can do. I'm going to give those to you guys later, but I just wanted to say,
one-on-one session.
yeah. I just want to say a huge thank you to Northside Y. Guys, walk it out. And Ben. We got Ben. All right, you guys did an awesome job. If you got any questions, shoot us any information, any questions you got, and we will get back to you guys as soon as possible. Work it hard. Keep on. See you on the mountain.